list, checking it twice. Merry Christmas.
All right, everybody, if you can put yourself on mute, please, until the opportunity to ask questions, and if it comes up, and otherwise I will see you soon. Over to you, Brendan. Oh. These series of talks are given with an intention. There are what appears to be two intentions, but in truth there is only one. The first intention is for those which are practicing this type of communication, to give instruction and guidance in how best to make this link. How to connect to your spirit team and how to make it work in the right way. How it should work. The feelings and sensations and each of the obstacles you may face. The other intention is the intention for you to find your true self, to find your spiritual self. And I am not talking about a self that exists in, let us say, one layer above, but a self that exists in truth with a connection to all mankind and all other beings. A primordial self. A self where you know joy, you know happiness, love and peace beyond all that you think it is within the human form. Now these series of talks, last week we spoke about the human heart and the spiritual heart. How with a certain amount of awareness, mankind can have access beyond the physical heart that they think they are. Today we look at the body, and next week we will look at the mind. So the body, of course, is very definable. It is very easy for anybody also physical to be able to see the body. And the definition is quite clear. For some, they say it begins at the toe and ends at the crown. Others will say it's everything beneath the skin. But the body comes with certain ailments and certain restrictions. It has to conform to certain physicalities and proceed along a path as directed by the mind. This is important to understand, that the body is directed by the mind. And of course you would say, well, that is obvious that the body is directed by the mind. Now I am talking the mind, I am not talking the brain. The definition of mind we will come to next week. The brain undertakes the functions of the body and controls all the various elements and workings. But the mind sets the course. And in setting the course, then the body complies and walks along that pathway of events. Now I ask you to fully understand this. It is very fundamental, and fundamental to your understanding of your progress. The mind creates, and creates everything. Creates all that you see around you now, and also creates everything between the skin. The body complies. So if you have a physical ailment or a condition that you wish to heal within your physical self, now you have 4 possibilities of working or healing that. Firstly, the body can take care of its own minor issues. So the brain would construct various procedures so the cut can be healed. The broken bone can be fixed. This, of course, can only happen at quite an instinctive way. It has to happen in the way that the body then works within what it has available. In addition to that, you may heal the body through, first of all, the heart, the emotional heart. Healing can take place at this level. Often people say when they have an ailment, they will send that area love. So you may heal a bone by sending love. You will find that this type of healing will speed up the healing process. Those which are used to working with their heart will understand that the working of the heart will not only make one feel rather joyous, but will lift the vibration and intensity of the being. And in doing that, you will find that anything that is, let us say, of a heavier vibration will have trouble existing within that boundary. The heart is a very effective healer and will heal quite naturally, but it will not fix a problem totally. It will aid the process. It'll speed the process, but it does not make the process disappear. It may prevent future issues. You can, of course, heal with the mind of man. But the mind will only follow a chain of logical instruction. too must receive instruction to understand the series of events that are required. So the mind then works through an injury, dealing whatever needs to be done, as long as it is in line with the development and progress of the human form. It will not step out of the rule book. It conforms to what is the right way. And if your injury is for your own benefit, whether you know it or not, the mind will not heal it. The mind must only do what it knows. It will always make one and one make two. But it can do the work if it has the correct instruction. So these are 3 of the 4 possible ways of you receiving healing. By letting the body do its work, letting the mind follow instruction, and letting the heart work with all the positive energies around to improve matters. Of course, the heart works slightly outside of instruction, but it too must also understand. So now we come to the 4th way. The 4th way that healing of a body can occur. And of course, this has to happen from either the higher self or from the spirit. So should healing need to take place, you need to, with techniques, go to the spirit to understand the healing process. When sitting with that spirit, it can then instruct the mind on what should be done and create alternate pathways. So by sitting in the spirit, what could be seen as miracles can seem to happen. So by understanding here, you can then plot another course that does not include a broken bone or certain condition. The condition being of the mind or the body. The mind only goes where the spirit tells it, as the body goes where the mind tells it. If you are using your mind for healing, then you will have limited results, inconsistent results. And for some reason, the healing may never take place because you do not understand the full reason for that injury. So how do we access this spirit? How do we come to know the spirit that's there? In truth, all healing can only happen through the connection to the spiritual self. And hence, all healing is the reconnection to the spiritual self. From the minor injury to, let us say, the more severe injury or mental condition. The injuries are calling you back to yourself to understand yourself. When there is that pure channel, then many more abilities come. So by sitting with yourself and accessing the depth of silence, and I do not mean just a still mind, but the depth of silence, where you can correct, change, alter any course of your life. And I do mean anything. So how do we get there? Well, your first steps along the way are to be clear with all the other channels, to let the body work, to let the heart be open and the mind be still. If you do not do these three things first, you will not access the full depth and access everything that sits in that depth. So sit with those three things first. And let your mind become still. But I will talk more about this stillness next week. And you will find you will access an awareness that exists beyond the mind. With just a little bit of effort now, you can get a glimpse of an awareness, being aware of either the thoughts or the happenings of the body. You are aware that you think. And it is that awareness that we aim for. The awareness then is the ultimate creator, because it tells the mind what to do. And hence now we can direct the body to heal. So I ask you to believe in miracles. To believe in the healing miracle. And you will find if you work from that state of awareness, your body can change. So how do you do healing for another person? Well, firstly, that person needs to understand and be willing to accept the healing process. They may tell you that they do. They want to be healed of body. But they too do not understand the reasons for their medical or even mental condition. They have to be pointed to the seat of their healing, to the seat of their truth. And be willing to undertake that work. So healing is only ever a return to the true self, a return to spirit, a return to the truth. And you should shine your light as if you are the truth. And this will provide healing to others because they will want that light for themselves. You being your light will let other people be their light. You serve the planet by being your light. And allowing your light to shine. You do not serve the planet by doing. You only serve the planet by being. There is a very big cavern between the two of those activities. The body and the mind, and also the heart, is interested fundamentally about doing. The spirit is interested about being. Being love. Any activity then comes from that foundation. And the body will then undertake any work that is required because fundamentally it is working from its truth. Now I must say again that there is a very big difference between doing and being. And I will come to that more in more detail in 2 weeks' time. Now, the guidance of any other towards the healing process You cannot teach people. They have to be willing to be taught. And those which are either directly understanding or undertaking the role of teacher should understand this. Which one is the teacher and which one is the student is not always clear. And in truth, there is no teacher, there is no student. It is the energy of the teaching that is important. This needs to be understood. If you remember the Bible, when two or more gathered in my name, I will be there. So it is what you bring to that connection that is of vital importance. It is not the two of the connection, but what is brought to it. So let me explain this a little more. You have the choice to allow the qualities of spirit to come through your body, through your mind and heart, and sit in front of you, between you and the person you are connecting with. You may choose to use the quality of spirit, let us say love, or you may choose to use the quality of your egoic self, let us say it is fear. There are two very different connections to the other person, are they not? One where fear rules the conversation and another one where love responds. So which one of those two provides the correct teaching? Well, it's blatantly obvious. So when sitting with another, you allow all of your modalities to be free, open, and quiet. And let spirit come into the room. For those which are experiencing phenomena, either around their house or around their person, you should note that this happens most prevalently at times when you are still, quiet, open, and you allow the purity of the other side to come. Now, everything that happens in that circumstance, the circumstance, let us say, of the physical phenomena, or of the healing that needs to take place for the other person, or the teaching that needs to happen between two or more people. It is the same with a different intention. The same process of being still and allowing the connection to happen. The body, the mind, the heart are but three blockages that can be in the way. By gently allowing them to not be in the way, then miracles can happen. The miracle of phenomena, the miracle of healing, the teaching where the student feels like they are being spoke to heart or soul to soul, where there is an understanding. The three results I have given are no different in terms of technique, but only differing in terms of intention. So if you wish to test what I am saying and find out if I am actually saying the truth or not, is in your next encounter with a person, let the Spirit do the work. Let they come into that room and provide the energy from which anything can occur. The body will be willing to let this happen as long as the mind is willing to let go of the control and the heart is willing to be open and not hold on to the past or the potentiality of the future. Of course, this is very subtle. It appears what I am saying to you now is a major task or hurdle to do. But it is not. For some, it will take a little practice to still the mind and open the heart. For others, without any practice at all, it will occur. For those, be true of your intention. Be true of your intention. So let me recap just a little. The body will provide healing to itself and respond through the elements that are available to it. The mind will need further instruction, but once instruction is given, then it will be able to create other situations and circumstances. The heart is very applicable, amenable to the healing process because of the feeling of love that it derives. But all of this will be pointless unless the Spirit guides the path. Now, we have spoken just from a healing point of view. But if you will listen to this recording one more time and change the words from healing to spirit communication, if that is the terminology you would like, you will find the process exactly the same. Let all the other elements be open and still, and allow the Spirit to come into the room, maybe through the voice, through the hand. Just let it happen. And I spoke in other communications that if you are having trouble with this, you should be able to see where your blockage is by being aware of your speech. Now, the fundamental truth is each part is calling the spirit that believes it's incarnate, calling it home to the spirit that is disincarnate. And every bit of truth will come from there. Now I sense a question within a mind. And that is back again to the difference between being and doing. When let us say, the human self is sufficiently open and still, the qualities, let us just say it is love as an example. The qualities of love is allowed to shine. It does not need to be created. It just needs to be allowed to shine. And out of this, the doing will occur naturally. If you concentrate on the doing and not the being, you will undertake your activity less purely. So let me give you a story. And it's a story that I used for a communication through to another person recently. A man was sitting on the side of the road. And along comes a king with all his army. And he stopped by the man and said, "What are you doing?" And the man said, "I am just sitting." "What are you doing?" And the king said, "If you see that city over there, we are marching to conquer that city." And what will you do then? "We will move on to the bigger city and we will conquer that." "And what will you do then?" "We will conquer the whole country." "And what will you do then?" Said, "Then I will sit and rest." And the man said, "That is what I am doing now." Mankind chases external satisfaction to apparent internal deficiencies. Connect first to your spirit, and the doing will take care of itself. Don't worry about the doing, because it is what you bring forward that makes a world of difference. Be it phenomena, be it healing, be it teaching, or be it the connection to your friend, or even your enemy. Even with your enemy, if there is love and peace in your heart, whatever barrage of insults they throw in your direction, it does not matter, because there is love in your heart. Whatever judgments, whatever criticism, it does not matter. When the spirit looks down on the person, so a spirit or soul looking down on another soul, we do not see the body and the mind. We see the way that soul is, the way it's captured by the body or the mind, the way the heart is not allowing the true self through. And we call, "Wake up, wake up. Lift your head out of the water and see what is around you." And if the soul was to do that, it will realize itself as spirit. The journey of life is no more than putting your head in the water and watching the life below the surface take place. The battles, the dramas, the need for food or stimulation or for a friend and partner. And when that time is done, it's no more than lifting the head out of the water and realizing that 80 years has passed in the blink of an eye. The body exists underneath the water. You have a choice to live from that or from the other side. And then all miracles will happen, if you wish them to happen. The clarity of life will come to you, and the understanding of your being will be available to you. It is not what you see, but where you see it from. And therein lies the teaching. It is not what you see, it is where you see it from. What position? Are you under the water or above the surface? So we will carry on our conversation next week with the intention of working with your mind. The problems or challenges of the mind. The way thoughts seem to rule the person. The way to still and calm your mind and to go past it. We spoke last week about the heart and came to the same conclusion. And that is an open heart allows the love that is there to shine through. A still body does the same. And a trained mind will allow it all to take place. So now I conclude my conversation. But there is one fundamental phrase which should be remembered. Start with your spirit. And work from there. I bid you all good day until we meet next week. God bless you all.
Thank you, Ignatius.
Thank you, Ignatius.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thanks, Mark. It was good. Very good.
worries.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay. No worries. The recording will be on YouTube in I don't know, about an hour or so. If you want to listen again.
Yeah.
I can't say any more. I don't know what to say. No. Nice feeling of depth. Just aware of an energy flowing, feeling of love and joy and bliss. And anyway, lovely. She breathed up. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. I'll take care. The reading will be there soon. Look after yourself.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. Thank you all. All right. See you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.